Now we get to talk about communication. Communication is super important because it is the one thing that I think is responsible for that disconnect in relationships, all relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be spousal relationships, but the biggest foundational piece that we miss out on is say what you mean and mean what you say. If you want to say I'm fine, say I'm fine. If you want to say I'm upset, say I'm upset. Don't say I'm fine or I'm not upset or that's okay with me if it's not. Don't say, yes, okay, I will come with you if you don't want to go with them. We've been trapped in this idea that we have to say things that are going to make other people feel good or not upset somebody else. The biggest piece is being able to say exactly what you mean. When we get crystal clear with what it is that we actually want. So we go back a couple of weeks in the videos, we're trying to figure out like, do I want to go or not? If somebody asks me, do you want to come over on a Friday or do you want to come out with me for this thing? The first step is figuring out, do I want to go? Then it's being able to convey that in a way that aligns with who I am. It's being able to say, yes, I do, or if I'm saying no, I don't, how to say that in a way that, again, aligns to me, doesn't make me feel guilty. Then there's communication just on a day to day level. Being able to say to somebody, this thing you did upset me, or this thing is really important to me. I want you to understand that, again, like boundaries, it's not up to the other person to accept it. It's just up to us to be able to convey it in a way that aligns to who you are. Using something from my own life, my grandkids are super important to me. So if I'm looking for a job, being able to say, I'm a really important piece of my grandkids' lives, and I may need some flexibility with that. If I'm in a relationship, being able to say, my grandkids are really important to me and I do a lot of things with them and for them. And so there are going to be some things that I need to miss out on. Or whatever the thing is. First and foremost, we have to figure out what it is that we are trying to say. If something bothers us, figuring out why is your responsibility first. Then conveying that comes next. So if something bothers you, being able to say, I don't like that. And here's why I don't like that. Or this is why I do that, right? If we are in a disagreement or in some sort of an argument in any dynamic, it is really important for us to be able to say, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm feeling, here's why these things are important to me, and then observe on the other end. Is the person you're talking to totally negating everything you're saying? Or are they taking in what you're saying? A huge, huge, huge piece, probably the biggest piece in communication, is actually listening. We want to listen to what the other person is saying, and we want to respond to what we are hearing. I watched a TED talk many years ago, and I absolutely love it. I refer to it a lot, but it's 10 mistakes that we make in communication. And if you think about communication, what we do is we listen until we want to respond. So if I'm talking and I'm telling you a story and it triggers a memory for you, you've stopped listening so that you can remember to tell me this story. Whether it's because it's a way to connect with me or whether it's because you're showing me that you know exactly what I'm talking about and this experience has happened to you, or whether it is during an argument and I bring something up and you want to counteract that and say, no, that's not real because here's the thing. Doesn't matter why. Thing is, you've stopped listening. And so what you're focusing on may not be relevant in the conversation. We have to be able to be open to listening and then being able to figure out what are the key things in here. What is important for me to respond to? What is important for me to convey? And then being able to convey that in a way that aligns to who I am. Being able to say, I understand what you're saying. And here's what I think you're saying. Is that what you're saying? Before you jump the gun, before you just assume and then respond to that. But then also being able to say, here's what you're saying. Here's my response to that. And not saying it from a place of resentment or passive aggressive behavior or anger or defensiveness. Like just being able to say, actually, this is how it is. This is the thing that I was trying to do, or this is what I wanted you to know, or I did that because of this. One of the other things that I like for people to understand in communication is that it isn't about whether you're right or wrong. It's, can you understand the other person's perspective? If you're trying to have a conversation, you're trying to work through something, being able to see where the other person is coming from, being able to understand where the other person is coming from is a really big piece of this. And then saying, I understand that's how you feel. I understand this is what you took from that, or this is what your perception is. Being able to communicate that without yelling and screaming, without getting defensive, without putting blame or shame or all of those other things is super important. We want to be able to take a step back, and we want to be able to say what we mean and mean what we say. Don't say something out of a reaction. Don't say something because you're being defensive. Really, truly listen to what the other person is saying. Try and see if you can think of, like, where are they coming from? Can you understand how they feel? Can you understand why they think that way? Can you understand what is happening for them? And then relaying your feelings as a result of that. Or if you're the person starting the conversation, really anchor into, like, what is it that I want the other person to take away from this? What is it that I want them to really understand? What is it that I want them to learn from this interaction with me? And make sure you're saying that. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to sugarcoat your message, because in doing that, the message is always lost. You want to be able to say, this is what I want you to know. This is why it's important for me for you to know that, and then let them sit with that. It's not for us to continually try to convince somebody of something, but it is important for us to take on the responsibility of being able to share exactly what you want to share. Don't say you're grounded for life to your kids. They're not. You know they're not. So what is it that you want to say? Sometimes, again, going back to that gap theory, sometimes it's the break, it's the pause, it's the, I need some time to deal with this. Sometimes we need to be able to say, I don't really know how I feel about that, but I need some time to think about that, and then I'll get back to you. I don't really know what to say as a response to that. I need some time, and then I'll get back to you. Take the time you need and then come back to the table, but say what you mean. Don't say outlandish things. Don't say things to try to spark a response in the other person. If you think about relationships, right? We say, if you can't do this for me, then I'm not going to do that for you. You know you're going to do that. So if you're giving up things, or if you're saying things out of spite, you're going to come back on them. Not only does that not build confidence with the other person and in your relationship dynamics, but it also isn't building confidence for you, in you. You want to be able to say, this is how I feel. This is what I want. This is the information I need you to know. And know that what you're saying is exactly what you mean to be saying. You can come back and change your mind. You can come back and alter your statements. But you don't always want to come from a place of reactivity and then always have to go back and take back what you say. It's the same thing with yelling and screaming. It's the same thing with name calling. It's the same thing with all of these other things. We don't want to just say them for the sake of filling a gap in a conversation that we later have to come back and go, actually, that's not, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. We want to be able to take the time and say the thing that you mean the thing that you say. Don't just respond. Don't just say something for the sake of saying it. Really feel into, what is it that I want you to know? What is it that I want you to take away from this? What is it that I want you to understand about this topic, this conversation, from this interaction? and then say that.